Welcome to the final battle. And by now, you know Donald Trump and the Department of War has raided Venezuela and they captured Maduro and his wife. And what I'm gonna get into in this video is what was the real agenda behind this, because it wasn't narcs. The drug prices have not skyrocketed up in America, so that means whatever effort that they was making out there didn't affect the drug market. It was no drug shortages in the United States since they declared war on Venezuela. So what was the real purpose behind the actions that the United States has taken? Or could I now call us officially the United States of Israel? Because this move was technically based off of Iran. I'm gonna show y'all right now in this video. So peep it. Iran provides crucial technical assistance like revamping refineries to Venezuela. Reports indicate that Venezuela channels oil revenues to Iran, which supports Iran's regional proxy and military programs, described by the Jerusalem Post. Okay. So now you got to look at the Somaliland situation, and you got to look at the riots in Iran right now. You understand what I'm saying? They getting ready. They getting ready to take down Iran. And this is why it's a crisis in Iran, because Iran gets a lot of its capital from Venezuela. And Venezuela has been out of business because of the U.S. Sanctions and capturing, you know what I mean, the oil. So that's why the prices in Iran is out of control, because Venezuela was its economy and its number one customer. So this was done on purpose, and it's not done for narco and narcs coming into the United States. It wasn't done because of that. It was done because of this oil. I'm gonna show you more.
Hey, you do understand that Trump's war with Venezuela has very little to do with narco-terrorists and has everything to do with the state of Israel, right? And before you think to yourself, what does that even mean? Let me explain to you what's happening. Israel is getting ready to bomb Iran again. That little war that we started earlier this year when Donald Trump bombed Iran was just the precursor for Israel to start a full-blown war with Iran, because apparently they're still developing nukes, even though Donald Trump said we, quote, obliterated their program. And what's going to happen when Israel and Iran go into a full-scale war that makes what happened earlier this year look like a joke? Well, the U.S. isn't going to get oil from the Middle East quite as easily, and so Donald Trump is taking preemptive measures to make sure that we can invade Venezuela and steal their oil instead. It's all connected, people. Just pay attention to the facts.
Forget about Saudi Arabia. Forget about the Saudis. We have more oil. Infinite potential. And we're going to open markets. We're going to kick off the government from the oil sector. We are going to privatize all our industry. Venezuela has huge resources: oil, gas, minerals, land, technology. And as you said before, we have a strategic location, hours from the United States. So we're going to do this right. We know what we have to do. And American companies are in, super strategic position to invest. This country, Venezuela, is going to be the brightest opportunity for investment of American companies, of good people that are going to make a lot of money.
So when you see Maduro riding around in the car talking before this raid, when he was riding home, he was with the agents that was turning him in. Because they sold him out for money. That's how they knew his exact location. They blew up all the military and they went and grabbed him. And this is all over Israel. So that lady right there, that's the lady that's in exile. Let's see where she been in the last couple of months.
Miss Machado, she's the lady that just won the Nobel Peace Prize, and she's from Venezuela. And she said, if we're liberated by the U.S. Armed Forces and they remove Maduro, our first act will be to move the Venezuelan embassy to Jerusalem.
What does
Well, it
that
sounds
have
to
to
me-
do with? I'm,
Well, it
I'm
sounds to me-
completely confused. Like what?
Well, you can't be that confused. I think she's hit on something very important. She's figured out where the power lies, and she's playing to the audience that makes the decisions.
Israel's pushing for war in Venezuela. Let me explain. For some quick background, Donald Trump recently has engaged in a full blockade of Venezuela, with the United States seizing shipments of oil. Donald Trump has even gone further and is actually threatening now to strike targets inside the country. This is aligned with the United States' over 200 years of interference in Latin America, what is often called the Monroe Doctrine. But this kind of aggression towards Venezuela is also something that would benefit Israel as well. The first thing you need to understand is that President Maduro is a big supporter of Palestine, and he is also increasingly allying with Iran. He described the genocide in Gaza as, quote, a war of extermination against the people of the Middle East, the most horrible war since the time of Hitler, end quote. And because of sanctions, Venezuela, despite having actually the biggest oil reserves in the world, its oil industry has completely collapsed. So in the past couple of years, Iran has actually been the one that's been sending shipments of gasoline to Venezuela. In the two countries, Iran and Venezuela, they've been increasingly cooperating on trade and finance, and one Iranian diplomat even described this relationship as an anti-imperialist alliance. Now, Israel absolutely hates this because it's not just about Venezuela. What they're worried about is that Venezuela could become an inspiration for other countries in Latin America to become anti-Zionist as well. The second reason why Israel is behind or wants this war with Venezuela is because of the oil. A lot of people believe that a war between Israel and Iran is inevitable. The problem for Israel, the West, and frankly for the rest of the world, is that Iran has the option, if there was a full-blown war, to cut off the Strait of Hormuz, a very narrow area of water where roughly 20% of all oil and gas comes from. This would drive up prices for everything, because food, for instance, has to be shipped by cars and trucks, I should say, and this would cause the U.S. economy to go into a recession, and that's something the United States doesn't want to do. But if the United States had a very secure source of oil, for instance, Venezuela, with a friendly government towards the United States, it would be able to somewhat shelter itself from any of these effects. And because of this is one of the reasons why Israel wants this, so that the United States could then get on board with Israel engaging in war with Iran. And so you have all that. And so it's unsurprising that, for instance, the so-called opposition in Venezuela, a lot of these opposition members being just puppets of the United States, are also quite pro-Israel. For instance, Maria Corina Machado, she actually had a phone call with Benjamin Netanyahu, congratulating him for his conduct in the Gaza genocide. And even before her predecessor, Juan Guaido, he wanted to actually normalize relations with Israel. So there you have it. This is what's going on. This is why Israel wants this war. And of course, hopefully this war doesn't actually happen. Thank you. Please leave your comments.